Good evening, Coaching You for You family. Thank you for joining me here again this evening. My name is Annette, and I am your host here at Coaching You for You. It's good to be back home. Tonight, our topic is about us, and of course, hydrating. Make sure you hydrate, moisturize your hands, your face, and your feet, and mind your business. That's a great place to be. That's a great lane in your business. And so tonight, I just want to chat with you a bit about, you know, again, my experience, strength, and hope. Shout out to all of those people who are trying to get it done and working to ensure their own success, not focused on others. Hmm. And so tonight our topic is focus on yourself for a change. And the reason we talk about focusing on ourselves is because so often we are focused on and paying attention to so many others that we forget to stay in touch with ourselves and we worry about so much. We worry about other people and what other people are doing, and it appears that they're doing good. And now I will remind you here again that everything is not always what it appears to be. Be careful. It's not. It's how we get tied up and twisted up in relationships that initially look good and people sound good, and then you go ahead and get married, and then you're dealing with their representatives, and finally the real person shows up, and it's traumatizing. Yeah, it's traumatizing, absolutely traumatizing for many, and some won't admit it, but even as we speak in all their glory, they're being traumatized. So be careful about what you think looks okay. And put the focus on yourself. Get in touch with yourself instead. I found that when I was experiencing some of my most difficult moments in grief, in loss, and in difficult times, that when I kept the focus on myself, it helped me stay in touch with me. And so getting in touch with myself was the best thing I can do over and over and over again, especially during difficult times. Focusing on yourself makes all the difference in the world. So, I had to focus on the things that made me happy, the things that fed my soul, the things that brought me peace. I had to focus on that. See, for some people, it just comes naturally because they're perfect and everything seems and appears to be perfect, but it's not. And so when I put the feeling into my whole soul and found my peace, I realized that my biggest commitment was loving myself and all of my flaws. That was my biggest commitment. And let me tell you something, it wasn't easy. It was not easy, but I got there. And I got there because I stuck with it. I made a commitment to focus on myself and to focus on loving all my flaws, my awkwardness, because there are times when I can be incredibly awkward. I don't know about anybody else. I'm talking about me, where I can just be incredibly awkward. And there's times when I'm incredibly vulnerable and weird and, you know, not so sure of everything. And when I put the focus on myself and not on other people, I find out that it works out so much better for me. It puts me in a place where I need to become, and life becomes so much more fulfilling for me. I realize that I just simply have to be myself all the time. And I cannot, under any circumstances, be concerned about what others might think or feel. It's me. Because 24/7, no matter what I do, I'm going to be, with me. And so are you. And it doesn't matter what anybody says or does or thinks, because the world's going to keep spinning with or without me. It's going to keep spinning. And the same applies for you. It doesn't matter whether people understand you or not. Sometimes you're not going to understand yourself. And you certainly don't understand other people, all the time. It's difficult enough understanding you. Trying to understand other people sometimes doesn't always happen, So why not make this trip about you? You can include others, of course, and you should. But why not make it about you? Why not just simply keep the focus on you? It's so much better when you do that. It's so much better. And while you're keeping the focus on yourself, there's one other thing I want to talk to you about, your comeback. Yeah. Instead of focusing on other people and what they're doing and what they're thinking and how they feel, what their thoughts are concerning you and what you're doing, focus on your comeback, baby. All the times you fell and you got back up, focus on that because that's where your strength can come from. That's where your lessons come from. When you're hurt and you turn it into healing. Yeah, I've been there. I don't know about anybody else, but I've been hurt. I've been there. And I turn that into healing, for me. And the version of me that I haven't met yet, you're going to get that on the way home. There are versions of yourself that until you are completely immersed in finding out who you are, and it takes a lifetime for those of you who think you haven't figured out. It takes a lifetime to figure it out. When you meet that version of yourself, the most important thing that, as I meet different versions of me and different strengths in me that I find and vulnerabilities and sometimes even weaknesses that I recognize and I find, just knowing, some of the things that I went through and some of the things that helped me get to where I am now, I'm incredibly grateful. I'm talking about survival, baby, because everything is not always peaches and cream. It is for some people, it hasn't been for me. All the things that were sent to break me, to, pull me down, barely touched me. It was barely a flinch. No matter what I thought about in that time and space that it was happening, it was actually barely a flinch. And talking about how beautiful it is that the ugliest parts of my story are what taught me grace. The ugliest parts of my story are what taught me grace over and over and over again. And learning and coming to understand grace is a wonderful thing. All the times I doubted myself, um, how I used the pieces of those moments in that time, to pull myself up. That's my strength. That's where it comes from. The lessons and the blessings. That's where it came from, building myself back up. And I dove many times straight into the chaos unknowingly. And I came out holding nothing. But I promise you, I came out a better person. I came out a much better person. And I like that. I love that there's an unbreakable beauty inside of me. I love that there's a piece of me that is, scarred from some of the things that I went through. I love it. And I love it because it built my character, it helped build my strength. And the version of me that I carry here today is as a direct result of some of those challenges. And it's okay to be challenged. And today, I also want to let you know that in building that strength and that unbreakable beauty, the strong, the fierce, and the brave in me, I had to let go of things. I had to let go of the past and regrets. I had some regrets. I had to let go of them. Life is what it is. It happens and it comes and it goes and it builds and it breaks and it pieces itself back together. I had to let go of that. I had to let go of the desire, to want to be perfect, to want to be uh, something and somebody that I wasn't. And I didn't even realize at the time that that's where I was. And I didn't realize that that's where I was until I came on the other side of it. And so I had to let go of that need for perfection in the things that I was doing and the things that I was trying to build. It couldn't be perfect. I had to let go of self doubt. And I have it even now sometimes. I had to let go of that. And I'm telling you that I had to let go of things that didn't serve me, no matter how much I wanted them. And I wanted some things. I had to let go of it. And in letting go of it, I found my peace and I found, that unbreakable beauty inside of me. It's inside of you, it's from the inside out. There's nothing on the outside that's going to be okay if you're not okay on the inside. And I had to let go of the need to please. And I did have that at some point, and sometimes unknowingly, especially with people I loved. I wanted to please them. And sometimes in wanting to please them, I lost myself. And so let it go. When you're struggling, I want you to think about the comeback because you had it. I've had it. Everybody has had some part of a comeback. I don't care how perfect they pretend to be. There's been some piece of comeback in all of us. So when you're going through things, the message I want to give you is just, dive right in there, be fierce, be brave, and remember where you came from. Remember that you were built for this. You actually were. Remember that. And more than anything else, tonight, I want to leave you with this. Remember not to judge other people. You never know what people are going through and the struggle that they are, in fact, having. You never know. Be kind and be the best person that you can be, okay? Just remember, stop worrying about other people so much. Stop worrying about other places. Stop worrying about other things. Stop worrying about the need to please, to be perfect, to hold on to things that don't serve you. Remember to come back, baby. That's your message tonight. Thank you for joining me. My name is Annette. I am your host here at Coaching You For You. Thanks for joining me. We have some wonderful things coming in the new year, a new look, a new piece of studio, new producers, new sponsors, and some new conversations. So get ready for it. Thank you for joining me again and have a good night.